All right, Mr. K, what are your thoughts on the use of marijuana?
The use of marijuana. Um, well, honestly, I mean, it's something that it has medical benefits. That much has been proven. So, if we're speaking in terms of medicinal usage, um, then there's probably a legitimate reason for some individuals to be able to access it, to use it. Um, we could probably point to someone who's suffering from cancer. Um, there's certain instances where someone might feel you know, through after post chemotherapy that their diet has changed and might need something to kind of promote more of an appetite and need to eat. So that's just one small example about how I kind of feel about it having a more or less positive benefit for those individuals who legitimately need it. That having been said, the vast majority of users of marijuana are unlikely to be individuals who have to use it for a medical reason, and they're more just doing it just because they would like to recreationally use it. And I can't honestly say that I would be openly in support of the vast majority of people doing it recreationally. I mean, I don't invite it into my home. I wouldn't invite my own children to use it, or any other young people to be introduced to it.
Do you believe people abuse it and use it as a gateway drug?
I'm not an expert on either of those parts of the question, but anything can be abused when you classify something as a controlled substance, and then you have habitual users. Then certainly that can lead you to abuse. I mean, you have to look at what are side effects. Um, so, I mean, I mentioned earlier about someone who might have been using for a medicinal reason and that having sort of a positive side effect. Well, by and large, most of the side effects are going to be neutral or negative. There's really not any overwhelming positive benefits that would come from it. So, chronic use, habitual use, certainly, if it's going to have negative side effects, that would probably match the definition of abuse. So, as far as the second part to your question, can you reiterate that again? Can you repeat your second part?
Do you think people use it as a gateway
A
drug?
gateway drug. Anybody who is kind of open to trying different things, let's say they're risk averse. In other words, there are those who are afraid of risk, and those who are open to trying things. And so when you have those who are risk takers, they're going to try whatever they want to try. They're going to, whether it have been alcohol first, and maybe tobacco, marijuana, etc. And you get to quote harder drugs. So you talk about cocaine and heroin or whatever. And then there's the exotic sort of like made in the lab ones that really, again, I mean, someone who is open to trying things is just going to try anything. Is there really ever an end? Is there really ever a limit that person has placed on themselves to try anything? So those who are risk takers are probably likely going to do whatever they wanted to do anyway, and those who enter the world cautiously might experiment, might try a thing or two, might feel, maybe in an environment where they're pressured to do so, or might, if they felt as though they had loving, nurturing, supportive people around them to take care of them, might be willing to try something beyond marijuana. But I don't necessarily know that I'm an authority on whether or not marijuana is a gateway drug, but I think that those people who make smart decisions in life that calculate all of the risks are probably unlikely to do so whether they're marijuana users or not.
All right, and then do you believe all states should legalize it?
Well, I mean, as a proponent of states' rights, I mean, to define what that would literally mean is it's up for the states to determine that for themselves. And so, as a California voter, I can't tell Nevada what they should do or what Arizona should do. I mean, that's an opinion that would be brought before the federal laws or at the federal court. And the federal laws are very clear that that the purchase, the sale, the trafficking, whatever it might be, the use of marijuana is illegal. So should any state, then California or any other place that's quote legalized it, actually be able to allow the purchase, like I said, the sale and the consumption, however that is, whether it's smoked or eaten. Should any state be allowed to legalize when it's in clear violation of federal law? Well, states' rights say that each state can determine, but there is the supremacy clause of the Constitution, and there's federalism, and the federal government's powers supposedly supersede the states. So I can't tell any other state what they should be doing, but likewise, I don't think California can tell the federal government what it should be doing.
What do you guys think of the use of marijuana medically and or recreationally?
Terrible. Marijuana.
There's a plane. Hold on. There's a plane.
Through actual studies that I have found, honestly, it helps some people, and I have a very good friend that she has chronic pain, and she uses marijuana for the usage of making herself tone down and not feel so hurt. So I wouldn't say it's bad unless you're like misusing it. I don't. But is there really like, I don't know.
The only
Some
good
people look
properties-
happy when they're like.
The only good properties of marijuana, let me tell you, are it wards off all cancer and it lowers your sperm count if you don't want kids. That's it. Everything else gives you lower IQ, can't remember well, and it's just bad for you.
I don't know if either of them are right, and I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to put my opinion out there thinking I am an expert. So I'm just going to say the people that I know that smoke weed aren't the brightest, but they're really nice.
Can we go to the next
No,
question?
no. Okay, first of all, I did my research. Adam,
Okay, but how do you know if the articles are true or anything?
because it's a credited source.
But can you show them the credited source?
It's on my phone. It'll take a while.
Bro, can we get to the next question?
Go ahead.
Are there any more?
All right. Do you guys believe the state should legalize marijuana?
I mean,
Is
well, the
it
state,
I think
California
all
already-
drugs should be
it's already,
legal,
it's already
so they
legalized.
can kill themselves.
No,
off.
but it's not legalized in all the states.
Yeah.
Why
Okay,
do you?
but
Do you
by
think it should
federal-
be
by
legalized
federal-
medically or recreationally or both?
By federal law, it's not legal, but out here, it's legal for both uses.
I think
So, I think, in conjunction to that, California is the biggest state, and we get the most
the
popular
biggest
votes.
state.
Well, not the biggest.
There you go.
Well, bro, our population is the biggest if you really think about it.
Do you think do you think since it's been legal it's benefited anyone in any way?
It's benefited me.
I
Y'all
mean,
get dumb. I make money.
People aren't so, I don't know, stressed out.
All right. Do you think the federal government should keep it as a Scheduled 1 drug or take it off the list?
Wait,
The
can you
federal
clarify?
government-
Wait, can you clarify what that means? Because I don't know that.
All right, because marijuana is scheduled as a Scheduled 1 drug next to shrooms. So since it is illegal as in federal eyes, do you believe they should legalize it as the states are doing?
I mean, in my opinion, not using like any like smart technological words or anything, yeah, they should legalize it. If it comes out the ground, you could grow it and you could use
So
it.
does cyanide, but that's poison.
But do they use cyanide? Is cyanide used
Yeah,
anywhere?
to kill
exactly.
people. To kill people.
Exactly. If we can use cyanide to kill people, why
No,
can't we
we
use
can't
marijuana?
use
Bro,
it.
they use it to put the death. Don't they use that for the death penalty stuff?
I don't know exactly. I'm not an expert.
I'm pretty sure that they put that in the needles.
Put what?
So, cyanide, that's
Oh.
poison to kill people slowly. And I think if they could use that, we can use marijuana without them fucking spazzing. I don't know.
What are your guys' thoughts on the use of marijuana?
You go first.
Well, I personally believe there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you could use it and still be productive. In my personal opinion, you can use it and be lazy, or you can use it and you could be active. So my personal opinion is it's just the way you use it that really matters.
I personally don't really mind. It might help the economy in a way, but yeah, I really don't mind. But there can be some side effects of people just becoming a little lazy, and at the same time, people can actually feel better.
You think the government should legalize marijuana?
In my opinion, I don't think the government should do it because I feel like it's a plant. Anyone could grow it. I mean, you don't have to pay money for it. I mean, it is a plant. You can just grow it. But I don't think the government should do that. I mean, anyone. I feel like anyone should be able to grow it.
The government should legalize it because why do something that's not, I guess, legal? Wait, hold on. I kind of spaced out. No. Okay. Why do something that, yeah, okay, if it's legal, I mean, it's easier to get, isn't it?
That's true.
And it can help the economy, like I was
Give it an
saying.
economic boost.
Yeah.
Do you believe it's like on the same level as alcohol?
I feel like. Oh, dang, that is good.
I believe no, because alcohol, it can kill people.
That's
in a way.
true. I
Like,
feel like alcohol is more deadlier the way they use it, and they don't use it responsibly. People drink and drive all the time, but I mean, I've never heard of marijuana killing anybody.
Yeah, you
I'm
have to,
telling
like-
people who died off alcohol.
you have to like smoke a large dose of like.
Not even that.
die.
I don't even think I don't even think you'll die if you smoke too much. I mean, but I think I don't know. I think alcohol is more deadlier than marijuana.
Okay, first
All right.
question. What do you guys think about the use of marijuana recreationally and or medically?
I feel like, honestly, my own personal opinion, I feel like it's good for the world. You know what I'm saying? It makes people calm down, chill. It just, weed's not bad. You can't overdose on it or nothing. So it's kind of, it's not deadly. It kind of, all it does is help. What about you, Tristan?
It helps me with body.
Yeah? Do you think more states other than California should consider legalizing it?
Most definitely.
If he says yes, then I say yes too. Shit.
Hey, there it is.
Do you believe people abuse the use of marijuana?
It could be, I wouldn't say abused, but I say it could be used in a negative way if you don't know how to handle it.
What do you mean in a negative way?
I mean, if you don't have all your priorities straight, it could affect you in the long run. It could affect you in a negative way. Like, it would make you not want to push towards all the positive things you got going on. You're going to be stagnant.
It can affect your body and your mind.
You're going to be on a standstill, not going nowhere.
Stay in the hospital all day, not doing shit.
Okay.
You know the cyanide thing that you were talking about?
Yeah.
It's inside of cigarettes. Like I looked it up, and it's inside of like smoke in cigarettes.
So
it's basically inside of cigarettes. So if they can use cyanide inside of cigarettes, why can't people like smoke marijuana freely?
your thoughts, Adam?
Is
think cigarettes should be
legal
illegal.
or illegal?
Your thoughts,
Cyanide
Julio?
is illegal, but it's inside of cigarette
Why not?
smoke.
It depends on how much you have.
But still, any point or ratio
You should ask
of
them that
cyanide is
question
bad.
you asked them about the alcohol.
Oh, I know.
Actually, I think everything should be legal. Legal. Because if you want to do it, go ahead and do it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Look, there's low-key a lot of good lighting up here, bro. Are you high right now, Vanessa?
No, I'm not.
That's a good answer.